This is not the man I met. He is egotistical. He disrespects me.
This entire marriage has been forced upon me.
When you don't have trust, when you don't have that foundation, the relationship is over before it starts.
I'm at my breaking point. He has a problem with spending.
You have champagne taste on a soda water budget.
Yes,
What's
honey.
going on?
Come on, champagne taste. It's about the taste, not about the budget.
You can't trust him anymore. The man that I married would never have done that.
I'm not going to advise her to try to make this work because I think it's dangerous. I think it's gone beyond that. Here is today's case.
She says her 8-year relationship is being torn apart by his poker addiction. He says it's her controlling and constant cheating allegations that keep him away from their home. What will it take to fix this couple? Can they resolve their issues? That's today's case on Divorce Court.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, our virtual audience is filled with your superfans. Today's superfan of the day is LaShanta from the Windy City, Chicago, Illinois.
Hello, LaShanta. Welcome to Divorce Court. We're so happy to have you with us today.
Your Honor, this is the case of Taylor versus Cotugno.
Thank you, Juan. Miss Susan Taylor.
Yes, Your Honor.
You have brought Mr. John Cotugno
Yes, Your
to
Honor.
Divorce Court today. I understand that the two of you have been in a long-term relationship.
Yes.
You are not married, but you're here in Divorce Court to see if you can resolve some of your issues before perhaps finally taking that next step.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll start with you, Miss Taylor. Please give me some background as to why you brought this case today.
Well, Your Honor, we've been having some issues, John not being able to make adult decisions, other women, and gambling. He likes to gamble. He, has a big thing with gambling lately. If we can't make it work today, then I think I'm just gonna have to leave.
Okay, what do you have to say, sir?
Well, Your Honor, I brought Susan here to tell her basically that if she doesn't stop acting like a prison warden, then I'm out the door also. I mean, she's ridiculous with it sometimes.
So you're here today because you escaped from Rikers Island? That's what you're
Basically,
saying.
yeah.
Well, if he didn't act like such a child, maybe I wouldn't have to act like a prison warden. I have to watch our funds all the time. I have to keep my eye on him, it doesn't stray.
Your Honor, she doesn't have to. She chooses to.
She's making a choice.
Yeah.
Well, give me an example of what you're talking about, because you said the two of you were talking about marriage, but you're having some trust issues. Why?
Yeah, well, at one point, there was a death in the family. I had to go away to Virginia for a few weeks, and I came back hearing from other people. We live in a small state, and everybody knows everybody. So I come back, and people are like, hey, Sue, what's with John and this other girl?
Everybody in the town?
Everybody in the town.
Is that what was
Same
going on,
person.
sir?
I admit to cheating, and we talked about it, and I thought we had it all settled, but obviously not, because she keeps bringing it up.
So when she left to deal with a death in her family, you mean to tell me you stepped out?
It wasn't exactly like that. That's the way she's putting it, but it didn't happen like that. There was a lot of things that led up to that. Like, she had some stepping out of her own, from what I understand. I mean, a lot of people told me, one of her girlfriends told me that she was cheating on me too. So, I mean, it went both ways. It wasn't like she only heard bad things about me. I also heard things about her.
Well, now, if you live in such a small town, you weren't worried about getting caught and being seen?
No, I mean, the town's not that small. I mean, it's small enough to where
you could
people
sneak
hear
around
things.
if you needed to.
Yeah, I mean.
So you thought.
If you're discreet, that is.
So he said that you're no angel yourself, Miss Taylor.
I'm not an angel, but no, I may talk to people. I never had an affair. It was our so-called friend that said this. She just started trouble with everybody. He doesn't have any proof.
I'm not asking him about proof.
Oh, no.
I'm saying what he said today, that there's been some back and forth over the years.
He heard it from that one person.
Okay.
Your Honor, there's a person that lives in my building that she somehow became friends with. She's over there all the time. And I'm asking her, what are you doing over there all the time? It started with our freezer broke, so she wanted to go put some stuff in the freezer, which is understandable. But I asked him if I could, do that. And he told me no. And I asked him for rides sometimes. He tells me no. But whenever she wants something, oh, yeah, no problem. And now she goes over there, I'll be back in 5 minutes, she tells me. She's gone for 45 minutes. And then when she comes back, I'm like, what the heck was you doing over there for so long? I was only over there 10 minutes. I know the difference between 10 minutes and 45 minutes. But she swears that there's nothing going on with that. I don't know for a fact there is, because I never walked down there and caught her doing anything. But
So this is a neighbor?
Yeah, it's somebody that lives in the same building.
And you have taken your frozen goods, your ice cream,
Yeah.
and your frozen vegetables and stored them in his freezer?
Right.
So she's going over there every day to get ice cream is what she says.
Supposedly, yeah.
Is that true?
No, it's not every day. I do go over there, though. I do. And I do talk to him when I get there, because he's not so attractive man, and I feel bad for him. He just sits
He's not
there
talking
and he
about
likes
me
to
not
have
being
company. No, not him. The guy. He likes to have company. I feel bad sometimes when he starts talking, and I just don't want to be like, all right, well, I'm leaving. Bye. Thanks for the use, or thanks for the ride, or whatever. Sometimes I just feel like...
So he's a talker.
Yeah.
We all have a neighbor like that.
Yeah.
You go over, they're talkers. But why is your ice cream still in his freezer?
Our freezer has a problem with... stuff doesn't stay frozen, so we've been putting it in there. It's only been like the last couple of weeks.
The last couple of weeks. And you say she's been going over there for the frozen goods every day.
Yes.
All right. But you said the two of you got past it. But then Mr. Cotugno, according to you, has picked up a bad habit.
Yes.
What is that?
Gambling.
Tell me about it.
Well, he has a friend that calls him every now and then to go play cards. That's not even that bad of a thing, but I went to the bank one day. There was $300 taken out that we needed for rent, and I didn't know until the last minute. I had to go borrow money because he decided that now we live close to a casino, the only casino in the state, but it's right down the street.
So he's using money for bills to
Yeah.
gamble? What is your response to her saying you're spending the bill money playing poker and gambling?
You know, we both work at the same place, but when I get my paycheck, I don't even see it. Our boss gives my paycheck right to her, and she goes deposit it in our account. I literally have to say, Susan, how much money did I make this week? Like, who does that? You know
Why
what I
does
mean?
your boss give your check to her?
Because she made it like that. I don't know how she got it like that.
You can't talk to your boss and say you'd like your own paycheck at the end of the week?
Then I gotta listen to her, so I didn't even bother. I didn't even get to that. I didn't even get into it with him yet.
You're telling me Miss Taylor has that much clout at your job where she can go to your boss and direct where your paycheck goes?
I guess so. She does it.
How is that possible?
He just puts the checks on the table and just looks at me like, basically, there's your checks for the both of you, whatever. And I just pick them up and we go to the bank.
I don't think that's
and
what's
we
happening, Miss
deposit.
Taylor.
I don't either.
If that were the case, then Mr. Cotugno would be getting his check every week.
He could go grab the check.
Is he allowed to get his check?
He sure
Really?
can get his check, yeah.
Okay, interesting. What happened when your boss laid the checks out on the table?
I just picked them up and we left and
Thank you.
went to the bank.
So Mr. Cotugno could have gone over to the table and picked up both of your
He
checks?
sure could. If he just said, Sue, did you get our checks? And I said, yep. And we just went to the car and we went to the bank. What you
Okay,
mean?
well, he wants his checks from now on.
Well, he can have his
He's
check.
telling you he wants to get his own check.
He'll still give it to me, but he can have them.
Why is it an issue if he wants to go and hang out with his friends? Why can't he just go?
We're just already not getting along. Maybe I might just, I don't know, he just spends too much money anyway. He just spends money we don't
She keeps her
have.
purse by the bed. I have none. I don't even have a wallet. My wallet's in her pocketbook.
Is the reason she's taking your checks because you're going to gamble?
No, Your Honor, I don't gamble no more. She won't let me. I did gamble one time, and I had to go rob her pocketbook of my own money.
So
I
when did you
literally had
stop
to go in
gambling?
her pocketbook when she was sleeping. But it was my money, and I went and gambled, and I won to boot. And she still got mad, saying that, I don't care if you won or not, you're not supposed to be going out when I tell you not to go out. She's just controlling. She's very, very controlling.
You've never taken money that was earmarked for bills and gambled the money?
I think I did one time it was for a parking ticket, matter of fact.
Did you have a gambling problem at some point?
I wouldn't consider it a gambling problem. I mean, I don't go gambling every day at all. I don't even go gambling once a month no more.
Does he have to ask your permission to leave the house?
Not to leave the house, no.
Oh,
But
my God.
He may say, Sue, do you mind if I go with whoever today? And I'll be like, I don't know. You want to just hang out tonight? Sure. And if he says I really want to go, then I'll say, well, go. But I'll be like, nah. You want to just hang out? Like hang out. Like
So,
why don't you just stay at home?
when is the
with me?
last
How many
time-
times do you say no before you finally give in?
It depends if I can tell you
10,
really want to
12?
go.
So, Miss Taylor, he has to ask, he has to convince you to be able to go out?
Nah, there's no handcuffs on him. If he really wants to go, he can just walk out that door and go. If
Really,
I
Miss
say,
Taylor?
Yeah, if I say no, I don't want you to go, then if I have that much power over you and you're gonna just stay there and not go, then that's on you.
Because I do it to avoid an argument.
Okay, so when
If
he
I wanted
comes
to
to
go,
you,
I'd
when is the
go.
last time he came to you and said he wanted to go hang out with Joe? And you said, great, have a great time. When's the last time something like
A
that
couple
happened?
weeks ago. Do you remember?
Last weekend.
You got to go hang out with your
No,
friends.
I didn't go.
No, yeah, but you said you didn't really care if you went, that you didn't really
But
want to go.
I still would have went if it was a situation where we didn't have no bickering or nothing about it.
Next time, try it. and
Why,
see.
why is it an issue if he wants to go and hang out with his friends? Why can't he just go? Why does he have to ask?
If we have the funds available and he wants to go out, he can. Because I think some quality time, it's good to be apart. But sometimes if things are rocky that day and we're just already not getting along, maybe I might just, I don't know. He just spends too much money anyway. He just spends money we don't have.
She keeps her purse by the bed. I have none. I don't even have a wallet. My wallet's in her pocketbook. I don't have nothing. She found a quarter in my pocket one day when she was doing laundry or whatever, and literally asked me if I was holding out on her for a quarter. And
But
she
I
was
was
laughing
kidding.
about it.
I was kidding around
Yeah, but that just goes to show you the mentality.
And for the record, you submitted a photo of her pocketbook. And
Yes.
I'm going to deduce from this photo that all of those items you described are inside.
Exactly.
Because he loses everything.
You could go get her pocketbook right now on my
Right.
wallet and
Ms.
all
Taylor,
my
does
credit
it
cards are
sound
in
like
there.
he wants you to keep track of all of his credit cards and his money?
If he had made it so clear, like now he's putting a little more effort, a little more anger into it and clarifying it more, so he can carry his stuff. But when he loses
Why is it that today in court, every time Mr. Cotugno brings up an issue, you say, oh, if he wants to go out, he can go out.
It seems...
Well, if he wants his paycheck, he can get his paycheck. Oh, if he wants his credit cards, he can get his credit cards. You seem to be so open and reasonable to all of the issues coming up in court today. I have a feeling it's not like that when the two of you are not here.
He's not as hostile when we're not here about it, or so assertive.
Why, if there's absolutely no conflict, why are we here today?
Well, that's not the only issues. We both have issues.
I don't know where she gets that. I have anger issues.
It was nighttime, and I ran over some railroad tracks. And John's like, oh, what are you, stupid? So we
It
called
was like
somewhere
3
else.
o'clock in the morning. The police had to show up, tow trucks. It cost us like
But nothing
$150.
happened. And then he banged the dashboard, broke his pinky.
You broke your pinky? If you'd like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Miss the show? Watch full episodes on our streaming platforms and follow us on social media for exclusive content. Why, if there's absolutely no conflict, why are we here today?
Well, that's not the only issues. We both have issues.
Give me an example of what you're talking about.
Oh, one day we were on the bus. Our car had broken down. We had to take the bus for a while. So we're on the bus, and I have this thing with people chewing loud and making popping noises, gum chewing. It just bothers me. So there's a girl behind me making these noises, and I just kept turning around like, oh, I wish this girl would stop. I don't know if I embarrassed him or what happened, but he starts yelling at me and screaming in front of a busload of people,
Your Honor, it wasn't that bad.
It was. I had to pull the lever
for
and
the
get
people.
off a half a mile before my stop.
She's yelling and screaming at a poor lady for chewing gum.
I wasn't yelling at her. I just said, I wish you would stop that noise.
Yeah, you don't. That's her prerogative. So she can chew gum if she wants to. Who are you to tell another person that you don't even know, never met, to stop chewing gum the way she wants to chew her gum?
Mm-hmm. Because you were saying you didn't want any of that smoke.
No, I don't like that kind of
that
drama, so I don't know where she gets that. I have anger issues. I've been with her 8 years. I never even laid a hand on her, not even so much as a finger.
What about the railroad, when I ran over the railroad tracks by mistake?
What happened?
It was nighttime, and I didn't know the area, so I ran over. Went to go turn around, and I ran over some railroad tracks. And John's like, oh, what are you, stupid? Why didn't you see that? And we called one place to come tow us off the tracks. And they said, oh, that happens to everybody. You got to call somebody else. We don't do that anymore, or whatever. So we
It
called
was like
somewhere
3
else.
o'clock in the morning. The police had to show up, tow trucks. It cost us like
But
$150.
nothing happened. And then he banged the dashboard, broke his pinky. We even have pictures of that.
You broke your pinky?
Yeah, because I was mad because she got stuck on. Who gets stuck on a railroad on a street?
So you had an argument that day. And you got a new car recently?
Yes.
What's going on with the new car? Why is that an issue in your relationship?
Oh, because John, he doesn't have his license. He had a ticket from a long time ago, which he never paid. So now he has his license suspended, which he could go get it paid if he wasn't so lazy and stupid or whatever.
See? Here you go. That should be the case right there.
So
Your Honor.
immature, I should say, and won't go pay the ticket, but he wants to go drive in the car and It whines at me all the time about driving the car. I want to drive the car. If we lose that car, we have to take the bus. We have to take the bus to work. We have to take it to anywhere else we have to go. So, but he doesn't think twice about driving that car, getting pulled over, getting the car towed, you know?
Well, what's going on with why don't you have your license?
Your Honor, it's not because I'm lazy. I mean, what does it take to go down to the registry and pay a ticket? You know what I mean? And get your license
So
back?
why don't you do it?
Because I really haven't had the time, or I don't know. Plus with COVID and everything, it's hard to get in. I have to.
Now, we're not going to bring up COVID on this. The DMV has been open again.
It is open, you're right, but you have to make appointments still.
Why haven't you done it?
Because I hate going on the phone and making appointments.
So you would rather just drive with no license and risk getting another ticket?
Your Honor,
then
I
go
drive
down
that
there?
car maybe once a week, if that.
And you live
that's
in a
only
small...
to the store and like maybe a half a mile. She drives it all the time, everywhere we go.
You live in a small town. Do you not have a friend who works at the DMV who can get you an appointment?
Yeah, I could get an appointment. She usually does that for me too.
I want you to take more control of your life. I want you to take more control of your life. No one else should be getting your paycheck on Fridays. You work hard for your money. You say you do not have a gambling problem. You probably did in the past, but it sounds like you've course corrected
Yes, Your Honor.
over the last few years. Get your license. You don't need Miss Taylor to make a phone call in order for you to be able to do that. I know it's been a long time that the two of you have been in a relationship, but I think some of these changes have happened because you've allowed them over the course of time. Stand up for yourself. And if she doesn't like it, that's tough. Because Miss Taylor, you're running a tight ship over there. You've been watching Law and Order lately?
Yeah, I have.
You understand how they run Rikers Island.
Yes.
He doesn't want to live in Rikers Island.
Okay.
Cut him some slack. Did the two of you make a decision not to get married?
I would like to get married, but I just, you know, like you said, I don't want the restraints that I have on me right now.
It's not going to get any better when you get married. I'm telling you that right now.
Right, and I need someone that's going to man up a little bit more too. So we got to work. We got to talk it out. We got to see what happens.
Yes, you do. Because I think that from everything I've heard in court today, Mr. Cotugno feels like you're emasculating him. He needs to be allowed to make some decisions and some choices in the household, and the two of you run the household together.
Understandable.
It's never going to work the way it's operating now, and that's why you haven't moved forward in marriage, because you haven't been able to come to an agreement about how the two of you can live in a household and operate like a team, because that's what marriage is really about, operating as a team and making decisions and doing what's best for the team. You know, when you have a dispute, when you have an argument, it's not about who wins, because the resolution should be what's in the interest of both of you.
Yeah. I can say I put some of it on myself because, like I said, I don't like to make phone calls, so I always ask her to do things like that. I always ask her to make me food, so lets it go.
There are areas where one of you is going to be strong in and the other maybe not so strong. You know your strengths, you know your weaknesses, and you work together to contribute what you know your strengths are and what you know your weaknesses are. I'm not saying that you have to just be completely independent and not lean on Miss Taylor for anything. I'm just saying there needs to be more balance. And when one person expresses to the other that this is what would really make me happy in this relationship, listen, because it's been 8 years and you want to be able to go forward. You got to loosen up your grip and you got to step up some more. I wish you both well.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Yeah.
The best piece of advice she gave me was, I guess, to loosen up my reins. Maybe I do too much for John, or I don't know, maybe I do too much for him and I expect too much from him. Like I treat him like a child, and maybe I need to treat him more like an adult.
I apologize for embarrassing her. I do sometimes get out of control with yelling and stuff like that, and I know that it bothers her. She's told me that several times, so that's something that I'm gonna try not to let happen.
Love you, baby. Love you too.